We all know what a typical fighting game looks like. You have two players on a screen, you can throw out some moves, you can block, throw, etc. It's cool, and obviously it works really well, since fighting games have been building on that same formula for 30 years. Today I want to shed some light on fighting games that really take everything you know about the genre and turns them on their head. Maybe they mix in some sports elements or combine a seemingly unrelated genre with fighting games. Or maybe they just take what we already know and completely deconstructs it. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe. Now let's get started. I'm going to start with this one because it's my favorite on the list. Lethal League Blaze. This is like if you mix baseball, a fighting game, and Jet Set Radio. The objective of the game is to manipulate the ball to get it to hit your opponent. There are various ways to do this. Simply by hitting it, thus making the ball go faster, angling your shots. You can throw the ball to reset the speed, you can bunt to slow down the ball so you can set up the perfect shot, and then there's each character's special moves, which adds a whole new layer of gameplay. On top of all of this, the soundtrack and art design of this game is top notch. Also, some of the songs are written by the guy who did the Jet Set Radio music, so what else do you need to know? Go play this game, it's sick. You can find it on basically all modern consoles and PC, and it also has rollback netcode. Next on the list, we have Maiden Spell. This game is a hybrid of a fighting game and bullet hell. In this game, you have access to a variety of projectile-based attacks, a super small hurt box, and a dodge. There are no combos or motion inputs, just good old bullet hell. If you both stay alive too long, the movable area you have begins to shrink, making it much harder to dodge. The controls feel super tight and responsive, and on top of that, each character has adorable art. If you don't have anyone to play, the game has a solid story mode with a variety of difficulty options for whether you are new to the genre or a veteran. There's also additional unlockable challenges if you decide to dive deep into the single player content. You can find this game on both PC and Switch and also has rollback netcode. This next one mashes deck building and a fighting game. Duelists of Eden is a spin-off of One Step from Eden and is a standalone PvP title about to enter early access. Heavily inspired by Mega Man Battle Network, you fight with a mix of strategy and real-time action to take down your opponent. Build a deck to handle all sorts of situations, create powerful synergies, or to keep yourself alive. One Step from Eden is an amazing game, and to see a fighting game based off it is a dream come true. This game should be coming to early access sometime in 2022, and I'm sure it will be a big hit. This one will be released first on PC and will have rollback. If you want to get a taste of this game before it drops, check out One Step from Eden on all modern consoles or PC. Okay, so what about a game that requires you to make a build on the fly? Rounds is probably the most casual game on the list, but dang, it's a ton of fun. Basically, you start the game with a random selection of cards to choose from. Each card changes little things about your character, like more health, more ammo, bigger bullets, shotgun spread, etc. Then you go into the round and try to shoot the other opponent. Once a winner is determined, the loser gets to pick another card, acting as an interesting comeback mechanic. This still lets the more skilled player win, but adds some spice for someone who is struggling. This one isn't deep. Totally makes for a fun game when hanging out with friends and drinking or something. Also, if the default cards don't add enough flavor for you, there is a modding community that has been experimenting with more wacky cards you can add to the game. If you decide to check this one out, you can find it on Steam. If you've made it this far, you're probably wondering if there will be a puzzle fighter on here. Well, here it is. Just let me say, the puzzle fighter genre has a ton of great games you should check out, but for the sake of my sanity, I'm going to put Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 on this list, as it's the one I'm most familiar with. Puzzle fighters are unique in a way that instead of just trying to stay alive or focusing on your score, you have to build in a unique approach, since at any time you have to deal with your opponent sending something your way, which adds an additional layer on top of the crazy speed and accuracy puzzle players already need. If you're going for a tall build, you have to weigh the risks if the opponent is about to send a ton of trash your way. Seems like most people play in swap mode in the competitive scene. In this mode, after a certain amount of time, you swap between your Puyo board and your Tetris board, adding even more layers to the play. When I was watching this at Frosty Faustings, I was just amazed. If these types of games interest you, check out Puyo Puyo Tetris 2. This game is on just about every modern console plus PC. Alright, to top off this list, I'm going to put a sequel to what seems like the community's favorite sports fighter, Windjammers 2. This game feels like a mix of air hockey and a fighting game. There's a lot more depth to this game than meets the eye. Every tactic you can think of has a logical counter. You can curve your shots, spike the disc, slap shot to set the disc back fast. You can drop shot if your opponent is hugging their goal. You can toss the disc up, which opens up the ability to your power and super moves. The game is super colorful and has a style I love. Check this one out. The game is still pretty new and has a ton of developer support. I'm sure it will be a staple at many events for years to come. This game you can check out on all modern consoles and PC. The game also has rollback netcode. Alright, there's the video. If I missed a game you wished was on this list, let me know in the comments below. See ya. Have a good day.